Hello, hi there. A few conversations that I just had in the last few days actually made me rethink of my opinion about art and design. Although I still think it's all about those three relationships. That is, one is the relation between the object and the designer or the creator, let's say, in this case, creator. Um, One is the relationship between the creator and the client or receiver or audience or whatever you want to call it. And then, of course, there's the relationship between the object itself and the audience. And in this kind of love triangle, there are different scenarios possible. I tend to think that if the emphasis is on the relationship between the object and the creator, then it's more art. And if it is more on the relationship between the object and the client, receiver, audience, then it's more design. And obviously, there's nothing black and white. It's always a little bit more there, a little bit more there, or less there, so a balance. And I didn't even mention the relationship between the client and the creator, which, of course, there has to be some sort of a relationship because one is doing it, well, at least as a designer, for the other. And but the interesting part is, can you actually say whether you are a designer or if you are an artist, and is there really a distinction? And usually when people call me artist, then I say no, I'm actually a designer. I'm doing the other stuff. But here comes the but. That is, can you actually be a designer when, for example, designing a yacht, and then in the afternoon you're an artist because you go out taking photos, and in the evening after a glass of wine you're even more of an artist because you sit down and keep writing on your novel, which obviously, because again, maybe you are a commercial writer, and as such, you are more focused on the receiving end, the audience, the reader, than on just getting, your thoughts and your ideas out. In that case, is it more design or is it more art? But the question is, really, because there are these different graduations, can you actually say that you are a designer and in the afternoon you are an artist? Or are you always an artist and always a designer, and you are just using a little potentiometer, to dial in either the one way or the other? And I was talking with an artist. I was almost saying fellow artist, but I'm still not calling myself an artist. I was talking with a real artist that I admire a lot, and she was telling me about, that her focus is really the relationships, and contrary to what I say, not really the relationships of her and her sculptures, but indeed the relationships of that the sculpture should actually then create with whoever buys the art or whoever looks at the art. And that is not to mention that, especially when it's a sculpture rather than a painting, you also have actually a new relationship that I haven't mentioned yet. That is, the kind of the nature and the art, because nature, that is especially, not talking about the background or, a couple of trees in the background, but let's say light, especially light, and how the light reacts with a piece of art to create to create different pieces of art, actually, when you think about it. at any given moment, because this thing is kind of alive. But that's, I think, no relationship is ever completely static anyway. So everything is fluent, everything always changes, and it is very helpful, I think, to me at least sometimes, to be able to create categories and actually know in which category you are, in which drawer you have to look to find something. But actually that's not reality. I hate drawers. Well, they're useful, but let's say when it comes to putting people, for example, never put people in drawers, because nobody really fits into a single drawer. I hated that already when I was a design student, and there was this exercise of the social dynamic target groups, that especially when you're a designer and your client is not an individual but a group of people, we learn that you should put them into drawers, like the traditionalist, the hedonist, and then you can actually, it's much easier to design for that particular person, but on the other hand, you can actually just kind of look at the drawer or look at the target group, and then imagine an individual made out of these parameters. And that's how I probably, that's how I design. I think it doesn't matter if I design for one person or for 10,000 people, I would always break it down to one person and to build a relationship, because you can't have a relationship with 1,000 people. Just can't. But that's the other thing. So no drawers, and therefore let's maybe ignore that there's a difference between art and design, because in the end it's all just creativity. And that's about it. I hope I'll see you soon for the next video.